Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. It's Wednesday, no, Thursday, October 13th. The year is 2016, and I want to go over some of the newest features of the TRZone's dashboard. I've been really busy on a programming tear. Main thing to focus on this video is the new trade column, and I've changed the way it's displayed. You can see here the ATR zone, rat zone, and holo zone are no longer being displayed. Instead, but you can turn those columns on if you like. But this is basically everything I do is for me. You guys get the benefit. But this is the way I like to trade. So if we have the price in the ATR column and it's in the rat zone and it's a holo, meaning it's below the highest opens, or the lowest open, it's below the lowest open or above the highest open, and here we're below the lowest open, and the M means that the range for today, which would be here 110 if you add these two together, is greater than the minimum ATR. So the minimum ATR today would be whatever the value for ATR 14 is, but it's greater than that. So that means it's probably a good idea, or it's safe for reversal. The only other column that would pop up here would be a P, and that would happen is when price, in this case, if it's below a pivot point, which is here, but the pivot point's also in the ATR zone, that's like a bonus trade. That's be all five lit up. And so right here, you can't tell, but right there I can see some purple, and that's where S2 is, because you see S1 is here, or the middle S1 here, the middle S2 here, so S1's right there. You just can't see it on the screen. Also, one of the things I've put is English here. So you can see here it's telling you it's below that. Higher value, bullish. This is the pivot trading plan right here. And let me just show you, if we go to the indicators, that's the old one. This is the new one. I need to take that off of here. It's not being used, but we can turn the messages on or off. You know, a 0 means you're turning the column off, and as I mentioned, ATR, rat, holo, I've turned them off and incorporated everything in here. So rather than me having to look and see, it's right there, one spot. Okay, now the other thing is the trade column. It's always going to, if you turn this on, in other words, any number other than 0, you can even put in a -1 or -99. It's always going to be here. There's a reason for that. What has to happen is for the trade column to get its information, these other columns have to have been run. And I don't want to run the calculations twice. So if this ATR column is a 1, then or non-zero, then the trade column knows, hey, or the indicator knows, hey, don't recalculate ATR. Those variables have already been loaded. But if it's a 0, it says, hey, you need to go out there and calculate. So it's just a matter, it's just a programming thing, but as traders you may not really care, but if you like the code, that's how it works. Also, I've set the alarms because, where are they? They're here somewhere. Here we go, right here. Sound the alert, and we can turn that on. You can have email, you can have SMS. I will have to get you instructions on how to set this up on the MetaTrader. I believe you go out there and do some things when you hit the options tab, but I will give you instructions, find the instructions, so you can hopefully get it working right the first time. Other than that, Nothing else I don't think has changed. Oh yeah, there is one other thing I need to go over. The my message filler. You see here, there's a bunch of blank space and they're all lined up. I allow you to control it. The biggest number you can have is 63. Okay, but there might be some times where you want it to be less than that because you might only have a couple of columns. And so you see here, so I turned on the alerts. We got an alert. Okay, we've got rat zone, holo zone, and hey, it's also exceeded the ATR, the minimum ATR for the day. And this is in the ATR zones indicator. Actually, I use the ATR zone HL because what I do is I'm calculating the D1 low plus the ATR and then the D1 high minus the ATR. So these zones move, but I'm going to work on that a little bit too. But I want to make sure that that minimum has been hit, and looks like the euro yen might be headed for the ATR zone, so I will probably buy some of it. One other change, I don't remember if I told you or not, is this symbol here means it's between two NFP zones. Now let's see, here's the NFP, and so here's a low, and then here's a high. You see, none of these say equal. It's not between the high and low of any one of these dates. It's in kind of a no man's land right here. Now we do have, on this particular one, I also loaded up a second instance of the plot by date indicator here. And what that will allow you to do is go in, you just have to give it a different name because it's plot by date. So I put in the FOMC meeting minute dates, and you can see here, this was yesterday's, and you can see it's coming right back down in that area. And so it probably look for some support right in here. Maybe the buyers will come in and push it back up. Otherwise, it looks like it might come, the sellers are winning, and it looks like it might go all the way down to the bottom. So that's just a little heads up on the using the plot by date. Maybe I'll have to do a separate video. I don't know. You guys can let me know. Wow, it really is dropping. Look at that. So let's look here. Yeah, that's going in there really nicely. So, okay, it just hit that previous day's low. We got about 5 minutes to the top of the hour. So maybe we can put on a trade. And see right here, we've got the Japanese yen all across, all 5. So that right there looks like a buy. See right there, okay to buy, because it's in or beyond that zone. But you can see here, if we look at the yen, and if you look at it, we're on the H1, you can see how it's kind of moving between, and this is just yesterday's high and yesterday's low, but you can see the price action that's happening there. And then if you scrunch the chart just a bit, you can see how it was being pushed between the October 7 NFP up and back. And let's just switch to daily so it might give you a little better idea. You can see it. Here's the September high. Here's the September low. But you can see how these highs and lows just happen to be in or around these areas of the NFP and FOMC. And they say that's because that's what the big boys are looking at. That's what they, they're the ones that are controlling this action. And so you see here we've got 4. And on the AUD/JPY, that looks like that's another. So you can see what the yen pairs, for some strange reason, it looks like the yen is strengthening. And everything else is getting weaker against the yen. And I've got about a little over 4 minutes left in this video. And that's going to correspond with the top of the hour, so I'm going to have to cut the video off. But I hope that's answered your question. Oh, this means it's near the 3 o'clock low value. Okay, in other words, the H1 candle it's near that low. Hasn't quite broken out. It's above the low, but it's within the threshold. I believe it's a 2 pip threshold there. And you can see here the AUD/JPY just broke out of it. So, fellow traders, I hope that gives you an idea how to use the indicator, because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. TheRumpledOne signing off.